On Mondays, Live at 4, Will Loper reviews the weekend movies at the box office and how everything fared. And later on News 3 Now at 5, Tanisha Shaw shows us everything we know about ICE's presence in Madison this week. Thanks for watching Live at 4 today. We sure do love spending this time with you. And we're always streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now, how you can get a glimpse of the brand new digs where youth hockey players in McFarland can now practice.
Record high temperatures are being broken across all of southern Wisconsin. I'm going to share just how warm some of those records have reached with that thermometer rising. And will that thermometer stay warm over the course of the weekend? I'll let you know.
But first at 5, 7 people detained and a community on edge. The latest on the Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrests in Madison this week. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. And thanks so much for staying with us. And we'll get to those top stories in just a moment. But first, where in the world is October? Is it ever going to show up?
Record-breaking warmth is on the way for the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is here with more on the weekend forecast.
Yeah, so I'm actually pleasant inside here. Being out in the patio might be just a touch too warm. But if we could possibly put Max 1, the #1 computer, behind me, that would be great, because we've got some records that have been broken in Madison. We had a high today of 87 degrees. We said that that was our forecasted high, and that's what we reached as of 3 o'clock this afternoon. The old record, 85, set back in 2005. So a new record for Madison and new records for much of southern Wisconsin. These are the high temperatures today. We did 88 in Janesville, 89 in Lone Rock, so right near 90 degrees. We also took note that 91 degrees in Sauk City was reached as well. So some of the areas in the Wisconsin River Valley actually got a little bit warmer than 90 degrees. And we thought, oh, we might just sneak a couple of 90 or 90 plus days. This is what we're up against for record heat in the future here. That record forecast is for 87 back in 2005. So that was that warm stretch 20 years ago. And we're going to go for 88 for a high temperature on Saturday. That Sunday forecast at 85. Well, the record is 86 back in 1922. So we're likely going to be breaking some additional records this weekend. But look at this. The temperatures crash. Fall is on the way, and with that will be a weather system that transitions us from the summer-like temperatures to fall. We're going to track that weather system when I come back in about 13 minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. And now to a developing story right now. Nonprofits in Wisconsin are speaking out after claims of ICE detaining people in Madison on Wednesday.
Several Milwaukee-based nonprofits hosted a news conference today after ICE activity in Dane County and also in Manitowoc County. Our Tanisha Shaw is breaking down what we know.
Several Latino organizations across the state are speaking out after reported ICE activity in Madison. Centro Hispano posted this on their Facebook. It says 7 people were arrested by ICE on Madison's northeast side Wednesday. Centro's post claims that this activity is the only recently confirmed presence of ICE in Madison. Friday, Forward Latino hosted a news conference in Milwaukee about those same claims.
Seeing what we believe to be the largest immigration detention action in the state, with a series of detentions taking place up in Manitowoc. Yesterday, we saw what happened in Madison. And truth be told, for some time now, we've seen a dramatic increase.
I reached out to Centro to ask specifically where this happened and who gave them this information, but they declined an interview. The executive director of Voices de la Frontera in Milwaukee says that 7 people were detained, and they're all construction workers.
Madison, of the 7 construction workers, we know that they were targeting one person. And again, it's just this larger, they're just grabbing who was there, right, in the home with them.
It's confirmed that ICE carried out immigration enforcement here in Madison on Thursday. The Madison Police Department sent this email early Friday afternoon. It says, quote, "We were made aware of their possible presence by trusted community partners, and we were later able to confirm it by contacting federal partners. Right now, we are still waiting to confirm if ICE made any arrests during this trip to Madison." The Madison Police Department said they will not provide any additional comments, and I have not heard back from the Dane County Sheriff Department. Reporting in studio, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. And again, this is a developing story. We'll continue to provide updates as soon as we know more right here on News 3 Now. You can get notifications to your phone with the free Channel 3000 mobile app. A woman is facing charges after hurting 2 children in a crash and biting a police officer in Sun Prairie. At around 11:40 Wednesday night, police responded to a home on Hart Road. They claimed the 34-year-old suspect had placed 2 kids in a car inside of a closed garage while under the influence of drugs. She then drove the car with the children and a man inside through the closed garage door. Officers say while resisting arrest, the woman bit an officer on the hand. The children's injuries are not serious, and they are now in another family member's care. Well, after a year of turmoil, the Madison clerk's office has a new person in charge.
For the record, host Ellie La Liberté sat down with Lydia McComas in her first week on the job.
The new Madison City Clerk, Lydia McComas, says she's coming into the role with an eye on transparency. Her appointment comes after 193 absentee ballots went uncounted last November, triggering 2 different investigations. The incident led the former clerk to resign, and both investigations found she failed to act in accordance with her role. McComas, however, says she's not focused on the past. She was previously the voter engagement manager with the largest county in Minnesota and says her experience makes her fit for the role.
And so I had a hand in every part of the elections to make sure that I knew what was going on so I could communicate that with the public. So I'm really bringing that foundation of election knowledge to this office as well as management. And so all of that is what brings me here and gets me prepared to take over.
And after the missing ballots incident, we also discussed how she plans to restore voter trust. You can hear that in our interview this Sunday morning at 10:30 on For the Record.
We will see you Sunday, Ellie. Thank you. It sure feels like summer outside, but it was still another great day for winter coat donations. Thanks, everybody, to all of you who have contributed to our Coats for Kids campaign, including some anonymous donors who dropped off 3 bags full of gloves and hats at the Clinky Cleaners campus location. We really appreciate your generosity.
We love it when that happens. By the way, tomorrow is your last day to add a new or gently used coat of any size to the collection. There are thousands of kids and adults here in Dane County who could really use our help. So if you have a coat that you'd like to give away, please get your donation at any Clinky Cleaners location by close of business tomorrow.
Looking ahead to this weekend.
And happening tomorrow, the McFarland Community Ice Arena will be celebrating the grand opening of its new Starion Bank rink and expanded facility. The training rink is 50 feet by 90 feet with boards, benches, and scoreboards. The U6 and U8 teams will use this new rink for their games. The older kids will use it as additional practice ice. The grand opening ceremony will take place 4 to 8 p.m. tomorrow, and festivities will include a ribbon cutting and unveiling of the donor wall and tours of the new rink. It's part of the McFarland Community Ice Arena's goal of modernizing and expanding the now 31-year-old facility with a fundraising goal of about $600,000. The public is invited for an open skate until 6 p.m. and can enjoy free shaved ice cream and additional food and drinks for purchase. Later in the evening, adults 21 and older can hear live music from 10-speed legend. Later at 5, News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde talks about who he calls the Packers' most reliable wide receiver now as the Packers enter a bye week.
And then the latest negotiations between Democrats and Republicans as we enter day 3 of the government shutdown. That's all ahead on News 3 Now at 5.
Mixed results to end the week on Wall Street. The Dow Jones jumps more than 238.5 points. And NASDAQ, on the other hand, falls more than 63.5. S&P essentially flat today. And we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
It is now a crime in Wisconsin to use artificial intelligence to generate and post images depicting nudity or to harass or intimidate people. Governor Evers signed the bipartisan Senate Bill 33 today, which makes it a felony to depict nudity with AI-generated images. The bill also prohibits posting, publishing, distributing, or exhibiting AI-generated images of an identifiable person without their consent with intent to harass or intimidate them.
Well, it has already been a record-breaking day in the weather department, and we're not done yet. Hi, Alex.
No, and it's warm here in the studio. I'm sweating a little bit, and it should be because the old record of 85 was shattered by today's high of 87. That was set back in 2005, and we were saying for days now we likely would be looking at record warm temperatures. Here's the highs that we've had so far today. I don't expect them to go up any higher than this, but we did 87 in Madison, 88 in Janesville, 88 in Monroe, 88 in Platteville. Then we have this triad here, Prairie du Chien, Bosqueville up to Lone Rock, right around 90. Sauk City, understand they got up to 91 degrees today. And yes, this is the 3rd of October, not the 3rd of July. And we got more records in the forecast here. That Saturday forecast is 88 degrees. The record is 87, set back in 2005. Sunday, our forecasted high is 85. The record 86, set back in 1922. So if we get above 86, or if we tie, or if we get to 87, what we're going to be seeing here is a 100-year record shattered on Sunday. Then that's it. Then the temperatures take a big crash. We'll see mid-60s by the time we get to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week, but that's a flash of reality. That's where we should be for this time of year, in the middle 60s. That transition from the hot stuff to the cooler stuff, we'll have a weather system Sunday going on into Monday. Let's track that. How is that cold front going to play itself out here? Southern Wisconsin. Sunday night, showers, maybe a couple isolated thunderstorms. Crawford County up to Richland Center, up to Juneau and Adams counties. As we move through the day on Monday, that front settles to the south with showers and a couple isolated storms. The front coming through the Madison area right around, let's say the mid-morning hours as we head towards Monday. And then showers and a couple thunderstorms, a bit more on the widespread side Monday night. And that's the best chance for showers and a couple of isolated thunderstorms. Looks like it will be Monday night as that front passes through and a little bit of energy rides along that front. And then we have showers and maybe an isolated storm to start off Tuesday. And then those northerly breezes are going to be coming in, and then the temperatures are going to be taking that tumble. We'll do 63 for a low temperature tonight. Look at this, La Crosse, a low temperature near 70 degrees. Normal highs for this time of year are right around 66 degrees. So our lows tonight are pretty close to our normal high temperature for this time of year. That average temperature is 44 for a low temperature. And then here are those highs as we go into Saturday. We got 88 in Madison, 88 in Lone Rock, 88 in Baraboo. Remember, that record high temperature set back in 2005 is 87, and we'll likely top that again. Breezy conditions too on Saturday going on into Sunday. Monday, there's that shower and thunderstorm chance, a pretty good chance at 60%. Here's the cool stuff, or when I say cool, this is seasonably cool. Tuesday going on into Wednesday, some rain as we head towards Thursday going into Friday with another weather system, and then we warm up as we head out a little bit further into next week. All right, at the Big House, temperatures at 80 at kickoff. After the game, 86 degrees, so it's going to be a toasty one. So if you are heading over to Michigan, you're going to want to pack the short sleeve shirt, have the sunscreen ready, and have those shades ready as well.
All right, thank you, Alex. Well, the Packers have a bye week this week, and hopefully a little rest will help get the receiving corps back to full strength.
Yeah, Christian Watson could actually be back at practice next week. Still waiting on Jaden Reed for a while. In the meantime, Romeo Doubs has stepped up. Our Packers senior writer Jason Wilde now with more from Green Bay.
Earlier this week, we wrote about Romeo Doubs, the Packers wide receiver who has caught 13 passes for 179 yards and 4 touchdowns in 4 games this season, including 3 touchdown catches in the Packers' 40-40 tie with the Dallas Cowboys last Sunday night. The point? What a difference a year makes for a player. At this time last year, it was week 5, just like it is now, but unlike this year when the Packers have a bye week, the Packers were headed to Los Angeles, Dobbs' hometown, to face the Los Angeles Rams. Unhappy with his role in the offense, he stayed home from work and didn't tell anyone on Thursday and then again on Friday, and was suspended for conduct detrimental to the team for that one game. Fast forward a year later, and he has been the Packers' most reliable wide receiver, and there's reason to wonder if the Packers have had a change of heart, and perhaps, even though he's in a contract year, he may have a future still in Green Bay. Well, We'll have to see if that is the case, and Romeo Doubs will be responsible for continuing his strong start when the Packers return to game action on October 12th against the Cincinnati Bengals at Lambeau Field and right here on Channel 3. In the meantime, follow all of our Packers coverage at channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the newsletter, which delivers our coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
As Jason mentioned, that Packers game on Channel 3 a week from Sunday against the Bengals, the late afternoon game that day with a 3:25 kickoff. Meanwhile, it's week 4 of the Wisconsin Huddle. Badger volleyball student athlete Jada Chernelia will be stopping by to chat with sports director Andrew Banster. The show airs right here immediately after News 3 Now at 6.
And tomorrow, be sure to follow News 3 Now as we take you live to AmFam Field as the Brewers take on the Cubs in Game 1 of the Division Series. Andrew will bring you full highlights, and we'll hear from fans of both teams. The first pitch is at 1:08 tomorrow afternoon, and our coverage kicks off on News 3 Now at 6.
Next at 5, I should have known better. That's what Sean Diddy Combs says about crimes involving sex workers, violence, and so-called freak-offs. But we find out next, it won't save him from prison time. We'll have that sentence just ahead.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Moving forward.
Sean Diddy Combs has been sentenced to more than 4 years in prison for prostitution-related charges. The judge saying a lengthy sentence was needed because he's not convinced Combs wouldn't do the crimes again if he were released.
Today, his children addressed the court, calling him a changed man. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
How you feeling today, Mama?
Sean Diddy Combs made a final appeal for leniency ahead of his sentencing hearing today.
My nose fell off.
Overnight, Combs' legal team released a 12-minute video shown in court painting him as a family man, philanthropist, and mentor.
This is our 3rd school we have opened. It's official.
In July, a jury found the music mogul guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, linked to 2 ex-girlfriends, Cassandra Ventura and another woman who testified as Jane. Combs was acquitted on the 2 more serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking, avoiding the possibility of life in prison. In a 4-page letter to the judge overseeing this case, Combs apologized for his actions, asked for mercy, and promised never to commit a crime again. Sentiments echoed in the court. Prosecutors requested the 55-year-old serve a sentence of 11 years, reiterating that he subjected his former girlfriend to years of physical and mental abuse and was convicted under the Federal Mann Act, adding that Combs had already booked speaking engagements in Miami beginning next week. Defense attorneys asked for no more than 14 months in prison, arguing their client is not a pimp. His children and even one of his lawyers were moved to tears, asking he be given a second chance.
Racketeering sex trafficking cases are like fire-breathing dragons, and he slayed the dragon.
David Shapiro is a former New Jersey prosecutor and professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice.
They, on their own, are dotting I's and crossing T's for an appeal.
Each of Combs' prostitution-related convictions carried a maximum sentence of 10 years behind bars. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Sean Combs has already spent 13 months in jail. If the defense's 14-month request is granted, he could be out in time for the holidays.
The government shutdown now in day 3 with no end in sight. Today, the Senate voted once again and failed to move forward with a short-term spending bill to fund the government until mid-November, extending the government shutdown. Now, Republicans did pick up 3 votes, but it still fell short of the 60 needed to advance the legislation. Most Democrats are holding out for an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies and a rollback of cuts to Medicaid. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says discussions are underway with some Democrats to vote for the bill.
I'm confident that it is a righteous fight to keep health care premiums from going up for tens of millions of families.
I don't know how many times they're going to give them a chance to vote no, and hopefully over the weekend they'll have a chance to think about it.
The next vote is not expected until Monday, which would be day 6 of the shutdown. The White House says layoffs of some federal workers are needed as the government shutdown continues. The Trump administration also targeting some Democratic-led cities and states during the shutdown.
Hamas today agreed to give up power and release all remaining hostages, but said that other parts of President Trump's proposed Gaza peace plan need more negotiation.
Well, President Trump posted on social media today that if the terror group hasn't agreed to the proposal by 6 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday, quote, all hell like no one has ever seen before will break out. It's been several days since the president unveiled a 20-point plan alongside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. In a joint news conference alongside President Trump, Netanyahu said Israel had agreed to the framework. The deal spells out an end to the war, the release of hostages, and a redevelopment plan for the devastated enclave.
Alex will have a final check of the weather when we come back. Coming up tonight at 6, we're at the end of our Coats for Kids campaign. Thousands of coats later, Josh Spreiter lets you know how you can help and be helped by this going forward. That's coming up tonight at 6. Advocates against domestic violence will walk this weekend to raise funds for Domestic Abuse Intervention Services, or DAYS. On Jackie's Wings honors the life of Jackie Katinger. In 2023, Jackie was shot and killed by a domestic partner, leaving behind her young son. Since then, her family and friends have committed to raising awareness about how common domestic violence is. And earlier this week, you may recall, we had her mother and a family friend on Live at 4 to talk about what they see as a barrier to fighting domestic violence deaths.
There are situations, and Jackie's was one of them, where law enforcement hands were tied, and that needs to change.
Several community leaders and lawmakers will be at the event to talk about solutions. The event this weekend also raises scholarship money for Jackie's son, Calvin. The event is free, and all donations will be accepted through a GoFundMe.
Well, it'll be a warm one tomorrow for that walk, but we're flirting with more records tomorrow.
Yes.
But it should be a nice day, right, if you can handle the heat a little bit.
If you can handle the heat and the sun, wear that sunscreen tomorrow. Shorts, and short sleeve shirt. That's my attire forecast for you. As we reach high temperatures of 88 on Saturday, 85 on Sunday, the record Saturday 87, the record on Sunday 86, so we're likely going to tie or break those records. And then here comes fall. There it is, finally.
And then reality set in.
It's going to be, rug rips out from underneath you, and yep, here we are, fall in all of its glory. Tuesday going on into Wednesday, as we head into Thursday and Friday, some more rain shower activity. But that cold front on Monday, that's what's going to usher in the realistic temperatures where we should be for this time of year. So maybe you can start thinking about pulling out those fall sweaters. And
I like Alex's clothing consulting business he's got going on.
Yes.
He doesn't just forecast, he also tells you exactly what to wear. I love it. Alex,
Well done.
thank you. All right, CBS Evening News coming away next. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.
And you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000 Plus. Have a great evening, everybody. Hope to see you back here at 6.